Hey everyone, we're going to give folks just a minute or two more to get started. So in the meantime, if you want to collect a few supplies, there's a bunch of different things you could use, but you don't need to find everything. But I would definitely find some paper and some tape. And then if you have some straws or pencils or chopsticks or something sort of rigid like that, long and skinny, that would be perfect. You can also grab something to write with, and then maybe some paper clips or some beads, some little things like that. But this is a pretty open-ended engineering challenge. So if you're looking to grab the last few things, you can do that while we wait. Just let's go ahead and get started with our wind-powered vehicles. So today we're going to be designing vehicles that we're going to power with wind. In this case, we'll just use our breath. So we're going to blow on some things. Has anyone seen a vehicle that's powered by the wind before? Can anyone think of an example? What do you think? Have you ever been in a vehicle that's powered by wind? I'm seeing some no's. So one example that I think of a lot is a sailboat. A sailboat's powered by wind, right? It sits there, has that big sail, and it catches the wind and blows along the water. Another example, I'm going to share my screen right now. We'll take a look. Let me see if this works for us. Let's see. Can everyone see some pictures of some really cool wind-powered vehicles on their screen right now? Give me a thumbs up if you can see them. Can we see them? Yeah, awesome. So these are really cool vehicles. They sort of look like sailboats to me, but they actually ride on land. So you can see they have tires. They're driving through the desert right now. But this is one way that people have engineered a vehicle that's powered by wind and doesn't create all those exhaust fumes that we get from our cars and buses. So we're going to be building something sort of like this today, but the actual design is totally up to you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So as I said, we have a bunch of different materials. I see some folks have gathered some already. I see a lot of straws or chopsticks or skewers, which is awesome. You can use those. I have some different pieces of paper. I'm going to use mine are colored, but you can use plain white paper if that's all you have. And you'll want some tape. And you can also use pretty much anything you have in your house. Those are the materials I'm going to use. But we can think about how we want to build our own wind-powered vehicles, which I'm going to keep calling puffmobiles because they use puffs of air from our breath. So one thing I would suggest is you draw out your plan before you start building, because it's really helpful to draw out an idea before you build it. And the nice thing is, I'm going to tilt my camera down a little bit. It's just a drawing for you, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It's also important to know that even though you're making a plan, you don't have to follow it exactly. Maybe you draw out a design and you realize something isn't going to work. So I'm going to start drawing mine. You can draw yours. We don't have to make the same vehicle. That is totally okay. I'm going to start. I know I want a sail because I know I'm going to want to catch the wind somehow. So that's going to be really important for my vehicle. Maybe yours doesn't need a sail. Maybe you've thought of another way. I'm going to add a mast to hold my sail up. And you can tell I'm not a very good artist, but that's okay. I'm going to be able to tell what I'm looking for. So then I want some sort of base. I'm going to give us an extra challenge if we want to later of adding some passengers to our vehicle. So I want some sort of base that can hold everything up. I want to be able to put some pennies or some paper clips or something like that in there. I think this is a good place to start. I'll hold it up again. This is where I'm going to start with mine. And I think I'm probably still going to have to make some improvements and changes as I go. I bet this isn't a perfect one. And that's a big part of engineering, is trying things out and seeing what works and what doesn't work. Does anyone have a design that they've started that they want to share? You can hold it up to your camera so we can take a look at it. If you're still drawing though, that is totally okay. Oh, Trey, I see you've got wheel. That sort of looks like a turtle to me. That's really interesting. I like that. That's cool. Does anyone else have a drawing they want to hold up of their wind-powered vehicle? If you're still working, that is okay. Once you've drawn something out, though, you can start by building your vehicle. So I'm going to start with my base here, and then I'm going to work my way up a little bit. I might just use the paper that I have. And you could cut it if you have some scissors. I'm probably just going to fold mine because I don't want to use scissors right now. So you can go ahead and work on that. We're going to fold ourselves a nice base here. And maybe yours doesn't look like this. That's okay. I'm folding mine up. And I think, because I decided I want to be able to keep my people in, my passengers in their vehicle, I'm going to add a little bit of a side to my paper. That way everyone can stay inside. That'll make it a little easier, sort of like doors on a car or the sides of a boat. Gets a little tricky on the ends, but we'll make it work. That's okay. I would love to see the projects that you're all coming up with. If you've started building yours. It's hard for me to see, but you can hold your projects up as you go. I'm just folding these corners in a little bit. That way I can sort of have a nice shape that'll hold in my vehicles. So this is my base.
I just put the supplies in the chat because we had a couple people join late. So if you want to join us, you can get started with some paper and you can draw out your idea for your wind-powered vehicle.
Great. Yeah, and again, you don't need to use those exact same supplies. Those are things I'm suggesting, but if you have some other materials around your house that maybe I don't have, that could be cool. I'm going to put my tape down and then I couldn't find it. I'm going to tape up my corners a little bit because they keep popping open. But right now I'm just working on the base of mine. I see Trey and Corinne are working really hard. Are you still drawing your ideas out or have you started construction? What do you think?
I'm starting construction. Corinne is too.
Cool. I am excited to see your designs take life. And remember, I sort of drew out a rough design for my vehicle, but maybe I end up realizing some things I drew aren't going to be perfect, and that is okay. I'm just taping this up, and maybe you don't have the same steps as me. All right. So I sort of have a little nice flat space that maybe I want to use as a vehicle. My next step for me is going to be making a sail. As I said, if we go back to my drawing, I sort of already built this nice platform part. I want to build a sail and a mast. That way I can catch the wind with my breath. So I'm going to keep working on mine. Just as a reminder, these are steps I'm taking, but it would not surprise me if you had very different steps.
I see Trey and Corinne. Corinne just got some more tape, so it looks like she's all ready to do some more constructing.
Great. I want less paper on my sail, so I'm gonna fold mine and rip it. But again, if you had scissors, you could use those. I just don't feel like going to my drawer of stuff that has my scissors in it. So I'm gonna fold mine over once. And then I have these paper straws that I'm using today. So I'm gonna use these as my mast. And when I say mast, it's the thing that's gonna hold up my sail. I'm gonna tape my mast on I want to have it nice and straight if I can, but that's all right if I have some problems. I have a nice mast here. It's sort of flopping open, so maybe I'll tape the bottom too. I'm going to use a lot of tape today. Maybe you use some paper clips or something else that you have. Oh, Trey, is that the first start of your ship, of your vehicle?
Yes.
Cool. Why did you decide to make it look like that? Was that just because you like the way it looked, or do you think it's going to help it move better in the wind?
I think it's gonna help, and then I'm gonna put like the vehicle on this piece of paper and then tape it on there so it can fold, and then I'm gonna put the straw like here so it's going up, and then I can like breathe into it.
Oh, so you're going to use the straw not as a mast, but as some way to fill your vehicle with air a little bit? Cool. I think that's a really creative solution to this problem. I'm excited to see how that works. Does anyone else have a design they want to show us that they're working on? It is okay if you're not ready to share yours yet. I'm going to keep working on my design, so I'll put the camera back down. And I need to think of a way to attach my mast to my little vehicle here. So, nice thing about paper straws is that they fold really well. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold this over, and I'll have sort of a right angle where it makes a change in direction. And I'm going to see, maybe I can just tape this on here, because like you've probably noticed, I really like using tape for my project. All right. We'll see if, I think I might have made my sail too big, but that's okay. We will figure out a solution if that doesn't work. All right. So I think my vehicle looks pretty close to what I drew out. So I have the same sort of bottom to it. I have a sail, I have a mast. So I'm gonna try to test out my vehicle, and I'll see if I wanna make, what changes I wanna make maybe. Because I bet it's not gonna be perfect the first time. So let's see. I'm gonna blow on it, and we'll see if it moves across my table. It did not work at all, huh? That is okay. So now I get to think about solutions. Does anyone have a suggestion for something I can do to fix my boat so it moves, or my vehicle?
I think you should tape it on the right side more so it doesn't tilt.
Tape it on this side?
No, the other side.
On this side?
Yeah.
Where should I put the tape?
Because it's tilting.
So you want me to keep it straight like this, huh?
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a really good suggestion. I'm actually gonna take your suggestion and I'm gonna tweak it a little bit. I'm gonna try using some tape, which I'm having trouble because it's sticky. I'm gonna tape it on this side and try to tape it upright. So now I've taped it back. Should we see if that works? Let's find out. Ooh, your suggestion of having it be upright was really helpful. Does anyone else think of another way I could make my vehicle better? I think one thing I noticed was that I have this little bit of tape and paper on the bottom. It's sort of catching. It's a little bit too sticky and coarse. So I'm going to think about ways I could get it to move. I don't have anything that'll work really well as wheels, but I bet I have more of these straws. So maybe I'm gonna try attaching them to the bottom of my vehicle, and it'll sort of act like something nice and smooth that can glide a little bit better. I'm gonna see if that works. It's a little hard to do now that I have my sail already on here, but we'll see what we can do. Has anyone else had a chance to test their vehicle? It is okay if you haven't yet, but if you have, I'd love to hear how it went.
I'm seeing a lot of buildings still, so I think we're still doing a lot of engineering construction.
Great. I love to hear that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape my straw on the bottom, and we'll see if this helps. Maybe it doesn't. All right. Let's see, I'm having trouble. This would have been a good step to do before I put the mast on, but I didn't realize there was going to be a problem beforehand. So it's nice to know that you can always make changes after you start your engineering project.
So one of the things people do when they do engineering is they make lots of different tests. So just like we did last week when, for those of you who did newspaper taros, remember you try things and then you see if they work. And then sometimes you make an adjustment and see if you can make it work better.
That's exactly right. I had some issues with my first design, so I got some suggestions for all of you, and I got some other ideas for myself, and I made some changes. So should I test this again and see how it works? All right, let's give it a try. I know it's hard to see because my camera doesn't show much of the table, so I'll start it way on the back end, and we'll see if I can make it all the way across my screen. It worked. It sort of tilted a little bit as I went, but it still worked pretty well. Does anyone have a design they want to show us?
Looks like we still have a bunch of building. Does anybody want to show us part of what you're building so far?
Yeah, it's okay if it's not totally done. That is okay. Now I'm trying to think about what I have sitting around here that I can use as vehicles, because I don't have any pennies that without going to get them. So I'm going to use, I actually have some little batteries that I'm going to use just because I have them sitting out on my table. So I'm going to see if my vehicle can carry 2 of these little batteries, and you probably have something a little more exciting that you can use as a passenger. Let's see. It definitely takes more of my breath to move it with this weight. But interestingly, it didn't turn as much when I had some weight in the back. So maybe I'm learning that by weighing down the back of my vehicle, it's moves a little bit straighter. Let's try it again. I'm gonna try adding another passenger. We'll see if
What
what
if you put the batteries in the front?
Oh, that's a great idea. Should we see if that makes it better or worse?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use, last time I had 2 batteries, I'm gonna try the same 2 and I'm gonna put them right up front. They're sort of rolling together in the middle, but let's see. Ooh, it still took a couple of big breaths to get it across the table, but when I don't have the batteries in there, just as a reminder, I can move it in one breath all the way across. What if I have one in the front and one in the back? Let's try that. Maybe that'll do something different. I'm gonna take a second because I keep breathing heavily and it's making me a little lightheaded. You wanna make sure you're not breathing too much on this. All right, let's try it with one in the front and one in the back as a compromise. Seems like doesn't matter where I'm putting these in the vehicle, but it takes.
That was kind of better.
You thought it was better when it was split up?
Yeah.
Let's try it one more time. We'll do 2 in the back, 2 in the front, and then split, and we'll do a comparison. Ready? So we'll start with 2 in the back. Ooh, that one didn't even move at all. I think I was at a bad angle. Let's try it again. Okay. Then we'll do 2 in the front. That didn't go so badly. And then we'll split it again. So 1 in the front, 1 in the back. I'm getting different results, which is really interesting because I'm sort of doing the same thing every time, but maybe I have my head at a different angle where I'm blowing from a different spot, or it could be that I'm getting a little tired and breathing differently. But I like this experimentation. Before I try adding some more passengers, should we see how other people's vehicles are working? Trey, I see yours looks like it's pretty much constructed. How's yours going?
It's doing good. I just need the base, so I put the straw on. I had to kind of make a new one because my other one didn't go so well after, so I had to do a new one. So I take the straw first and see, and it's kind of bending, so I'm gonna see how I can tape it to the base so it
Cool.
can stay and I can blow for breath.
Ooh, that's awesome. Corinne, do you have a design you want to share? Or are you still working on yours?
I'm still working on mine.
That is okay. I saw some tests being done on Jacob and Jerome's screen. Do you want to share your designs with us? How's it looking? I saw Jerome blowing on your vehicle.
What?
How's your test going? Is it working well?
Yes.
Do you want to share your
We're
design?
trying toilet paper rolls as wheels.
This is my brother's. This is mine. It works.
That's really cool. I like.
Stick it on
I'll show you.
with the paper.
I'm gonna show you.
Oh, are those toilet paper rolls just sort of sandwiched between something attached so they still spin?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
really cool. I have never seen that design before. I love that. And is yours just gliding on the paper, Jerome?
I'll do this.
Yeah.
It's just going
They don't stick on this.
with the wind. It just goes.
I love that. You didn't even use the little straw pontoons I put on. That's really cool. Have you thought about some improvements you could make?
Okay, everyone, on my phone.
Talking to you.
What?
Have you thought about some changes or improvements you could make, Jerome?
I don't think I could make improvements. I think I like my model the way it is, and I also added little seats inside. I added seats.
Oh, cool.
And
What-
some-
Do you have some passengers you can put on there?
I didn't. I put all of the paper clips that there was, and it just went. It just did it in one blow.
That's really cool. You
This
could
one is
keep
a good
adding
model.
some challenges
It does look okay.
and thinking about how many passengers you could add. You could also try to create a start line and a finish line. Sometimes I like to build one so it's 6 feet apart and I see how many breaths it will take me to move. All right, I'm gonna try mine with all 4 of my passengers, in this case, my little batteries, and we'll see how it goes. All right, let's see. It's a lot of weight for my little vehicle. Oh, it's taking a lot of breath for me to move my vehicle. It's a lot more weight pushing down on these straws, and that's causing it to have some friction. Very cool. All right, we're gonna wrap up in a minute, so does anyone else want to share their designs or see how their tests are going? Trey, I know you haven't finished testing yours. Do you want to show us your design?
So I still need a couple more things to do, but I taped my mobile, my vehicle to the base, and now me and Corinne were both doing it together. We were thinking like we're gonna put one more here so it can stay, and then a couple more on the back.
Cool. I am excited to see how that turns out. If you want to keep doing your design after we finish today, And even if you don't, I would love to see some photographs or maybe a video of your Puffmobile in action. So if you want, you can have your grown-up help you take a photo or a video of it, and you can either post it on our Facebook page, or you can email it to the email address that Jen just put in our chat, which is info@sciencecenter.org. Trey, do you have a question or a comment?
Corinne wants to share her design before we go.
I would love to see it before we go.
Good, share. So I taped the straw down here at the bottom of this the top, and I put my mouth up to the straw here, and I hope it's gonna blow like that.
That's really cool. I would. So, Junior, you're asking how long are the vehicles? Is that your question? So my vehicle, actually, I actually have a tape measure right here. Happens to be right next to me, so I'm gonna measure it in inches. So for me, tilt it down, the whole length of my vehicle is about 8 inches long. So does anyone else have an idea of how big theirs is? Mine's not very big. That's a good question, though. It's important to think about this. What if I was an engineer looking to build a vehicle we could ride in? I would probably build a small model like this, and then I might scale it up and make it even bigger so that it doesn't just carry little passengers, it would carry people. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. You can join us tomorrow at 10:30, where Jen is going to be helping us make some origami jumping frogs. So for that, I believe you'll just need some square-shaped paper, and you want something a little bit heavier, right, Jen? Like some construction paper?
Yep, you can use a sheet of construction paper, or you can use an index card, and it doesn't even need to be square. It can be a rectangle. That works too.
Great. Great. Well, we hope to see you all tomorrow. And like I said, please share your Puffmobiles with us so we can take a look at them and learn from your engineering designs. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.